Hello everyone and hello, welcome to a special video about Le Mans Ultimate, but not about the update that we're just about to receive, but a bit more about thinking forwards, looking into the future. What can we expect next from Le Mans Ultimate? So I went again down into the update videos. I also went into the internet and I looked for a little bit more of information to feed up that video. So we're going to talk about the things that will be said by Mr. Houdini in a couple of clips, and also I will add a couple of my personal expectations, personal ideas to it, and when in the end we're gonna speak about and discuss about it. So I'm already interested of you guys thinking what is going to be the next thing for Le Mans Ultimate. What's the next feature? What's the next content? How's the further development looking like? Let me know down in the comments area. Put your thoughts in, put your ideas in. I'm happily picking up of them. You may not have to do it now, you can do it soon, because first we're gonna check out the information that is available so we can make up our minds about ideas for the future of Le Mans Ultimate.
As some of you may have been aware, our business received brand new investment, which means that we can continue making, refining and improving Le Mans Ultimate to be the very best of sports car sim racing. This is something that we are internally very proud of, but you, our passionate fan base, have made this possible through your invaluable feedback and very positive reviews. More on this to come in the future. Since launching Early Access, we've been working closely with you, the community, to build and refine the game into something worthy of its name. And today's update is another huge step in that process. From multiplayer depth to fresh cars and circuits, there's a lot to talk about.
So, we have come a long way so far, as you've seen. Since the early access release of Le Mans Ultimate, we have now the full 2024 tracks, cars, livery packs and everything, also from 2023 and 2024 within the game. However, as Mr. Houdini has shown a little head pager about Pimax spending a 2.5 million euro investment into motorsport games. And that has been a message, I think it's a couple of 4 to 6 weeks back, which hasn't been really pronounced a lot, which hasn't been really pushed out a lot by MSG. It was a press release going on, obviously, because MSG is on the stock market. There was an official file of information to the stock market as well. And we've talked a little bit about it. The community obviously is aware. But what exactly does that mean for the future of Le Mans Ultimate? First of all, and I want to put that a little bit into context, right? Since the last 15, 18 months, we were aware that MSG was struggling with financials. We were aware that they are struggling with profitability. Everyone knew that this Le Mans Ultimate kind of needs to work out in order for the company to survive. They've cut down costs a lot. They've been in a lot of negative newspaper lines, but they've maneuvered themselves through this phase. Yeah, sort of like strictly straight, maximizing things, bringing out paid DLCs during early access, bringing out Bro subscription, paid subscription ships. Where the community was like 50-50 on it, between like, yeah, we need to support them, and yeah, we're get good features and good value out of it, or people were like, you not even have a V.10, but you charge additional money. However, personally, looking into the past, I have to admit, it was sort of necessary for the business case. They had to keep the ship running. They had to get somehow every single euro to be able to further develop Le Mans Ultimate. And most importantly, as a company, they needed to stay sort of attractive to be invested into, to be attractive enough for an investor saying, right, they got a good product, they got a good flow of money, even if it's just a little bit. They have a strong business case, so we invest some money to help them out, get them further on. And I think this is where Pimax is coming in. And the reason why I'm talking specifically about Pimax a little bit now is because Pimax itself has released a press release, I think on June 5th, that they're going to join Le Mans Ultimate booth on the Le Mans 24 hours in real life. So, obviously Le Mans is from 11th to 15th June this year. So Le Mans Ultimate will be there in their fan village with a booth where you can try Le Mans Ultimate, where you can take part in a hot lap challenge, the Michelin Endurance Cup challenge or something, what it's called. I need to look it up again. So there's some racing going on, there's some competition going on, there's Le Mans Ultimate going on with Thrustmaster as a hardware supplier and with Pimax as a hardware supplier, because Pimax is a pioneer in VR headsets. So they are doing a probably high level, so like they're selling the Ferraris under the under the VR classes, like their Crystal Light, and then the other one is called Crystal Super, I think. You pay a 4-digit sum, but you get 17 million pixels, 24 million pixels, 135 degrees of horizontal field of view. Apparently, really good products, like really pricey, high-class product. And this is where the foundation for that cooperation comes from, right? Or for that investment. It's not a cooperation yet. I think they are looking forward to a cooperation. But yeah, let's talk about that later, maybe. So this is where the investment is coming from. And I was always wondering in the beginning, what is the business case for Pimax? Why, as a VR company or as a VR manufacturer, are you interested in getting getting a studio on that is working on a simulation, sim racing simulation, whatever? But as far as I understand, their focus of Pimax is to deliver VR glasses for the most immersive simulation technology. So for flight simulation, for racing simulation, maybe other simulation as well. So I think this might be the link, and I'm interested to see if you guys will agree on that or not. Put it down in the comments. Since we've now spoken about Pimax, let's head into more video parts from the update, and then I'll tell you what is my top 5 assumptions of how the future of Le Mans Ultimate is going to continue. And of course, guys, if you appreciate the video, don't miss to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe the channel, ring the bell. But now back to the video.
What's next? Here's where I would normally give you a preview of the next update, but this time we're going to do things a little differently. 3 days after this update is due to release, 10th of June in case you've forgotten, on the 13th of June we'll be joining the ACO press conference in Le Mans on the eve of the 24-hour race. Since that's not open to the public, we'll simultaneously release the information on our upcoming plans with a similar video to this one. We just know you're going to love it. Until then, you'll have to enjoy the soundtrack as our first little clue.
Right, I already can't wait about that news video in the similar shape. I'm hoping I get a hang of it as well, to also deep dive into that, what we can read out of this. Anyway, what's next? What is next for Le Mans Ultimate? And it's very tricky in my mind where I'm gonna put the starting point here, but well, we dive deep into my first thought here. Number 1, new content, ELMS, IMSA, or at least the 2025 cars. As we have heard, a screaming car going down the Mulsanne Strait or going down towards India, I don't know exactly. But what car was it? Put it down in the comments area below. I think it's a very, very iconic sound. V12 engine, I'm gonna say. Let me know what you think. But I would assume this car to come to Le Mans Ultimate. They kind of probably announced it with that, right? It's a teaser enough, so we now know they're working on it. Additionally, I think Mercedes has joined the grid for 2025. And if we're looking forwards, I think McLaren has started their hypercar program. So maybe we also going to see a McLaren hypercar at some point in the Le Mans Ultimate simulation. However, obviously that has been so far into the future, we don't consider that being actually a thing. However, and this is where I am coming back on the Michelin Endurance Cup, that is a hot lap competition for both offline and online at the Le Mans Ultimate site. However, I've seen that there is an Michelin Endurance Cup as well on the IMSA Sports Car Championship. So, and we know IMSA and FIA and ACO and WEC is moving closer together. They in Daytona they've called the Le Mans chicane, and Le Mans they've called it the Daytona chicane for the 24 hours equivalent in IMSA. So is there an opportunity to combine those two things? Because we have the cars, we have the technology. Yes, I think the IMSA license currently sits at iRacing, but I think I may agree that IndyCar would have been better off with iRacing, but I think now IMSA would be better off with Le Mans Ultimate. So again, that is just me making up thoughts. That's just me making up speculation here. IMSA could be a potential thing because Daytona is a racetrack where Studio 397 does have the license for rFactor 2. So does it have the license for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and let me see, Sebring's already on it. Not sure about Watkins Glen or Road Atlanta, but at least Daytona, that license is already existing. So cars are already in there as well, apart from the Acura and probably some other manufacturer. But I think that is a really fitting thing. That is my first shot. Now, let's see what my next guess is, which will be number 2. The Pimax development collaboration. We've spoken about Pimax having an interest in the IP of Studio 397, in the IP of Motorsport Games. What if, and this is probably where the high-end VR users gonna want to listen about it. What if Le Mans Ultimate becomes a perfectly tuned VR experience for the high-end VR glasses of Pimax? Not saying single support, but like specifically tailored on it, because both Pimax and Motorsport Games have the ultimate goal to deliver the most immersive simulation experience. Whether that is for Le Mans Ultimate for driving, or for Pimax besides driving also flying, is a different topic. But what if that could be an opportunity? Let me know your thoughts. Happy to hear what you think about this idea. It's pure speculation of my end. We will hopefully find out something in the video coming next week from the press conference. Maybe we find out something that I have thought about it here. Maybe not. We will see. However, I'm not done yet, because I named about 5 topics that I could consider being an option. So let's see what is number 3. And number 3 for me is going to be the announcement of Le Mans Virtual Series. Ever since Le Mans Ultimate has been put out, everyone was like, oh yeah, Le Mans Virtual Series is the thing that we want to have, is the thing that we want to see back. Mr. Houdini himself has teased it like between 4 to 6 times in his numerous update videos, with patch 2, with patch 3, with patch 4. He missed doing so in patch 5 this time, I believe. But, and you know, I'm still trying to get a hang of why Le Mans Ultimate, why Studio 397 is joining the official press conference for the 24 hours of Le Mans. So, I am guessing it has to do something with the FIA World Endurance Championship. It has to do something with ACO. It has to do something with the entire project, right? Which initially, and this is why Le Mans Virtual Series hasn't happened in the last 2 years, because they said they want to have it on their dedicated game. Now we do have the dedicated game, so maybe that's it. Maybe that is the moment where we finally find out of the Le Mans Virtual Series. I don't know. Let's see if it happens. Let's see if the next thing might be happening there as well, which is number 4, the announcement of Le Mans Ultimate version 1.0. We have come far in early access, and we have come to a point where you'd think, right, you've got driver swaps in, team functionalities in, and a lot of content in already, like the content that you can basically have for the 2024 season. So I assume it can't be long till we get to the version 1.0 release. Maybe that's going to be an announcement, or maybe, and I personally really hope that it's the case, they're not only announcing the version 1.0, but they are also announcing the development of rFactor 3 on it. And again, I'm just making this up. I have no information on it, and I'm pretty sure this has not even been a thinking case in Studio 397. Well, with me putting it into the videos, maybe it has been because I have thought about it, so they could have thought about it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is, I am not sure if they really consider that. And personally, I do hope to consider that they consider it, because with the tires that we've seen in the last 16 months, with the accuracy, the quality, the HUD, the dynamics, all the different aspects that make Le Mans Ultimate so unique, putting that into an rFactor 3 and get the Porsche Cup car, the Formula Pro car, the F1 cars, Formula 2 cars, Cup cars in general, maybe also a selection of GT3s or other hypercars again to sprint races, or more tracks. And we're coming back on ELMS, IMSA, and forgot about it, that we spoke about in the first topic. Maybe those are tracks that come to Le Mans Ultimate, or also for an rFactor 3. Would be an interesting one to see if that is an option. And last but not least, I got one more conspiracy theory up for you, which we'll see in number 5. So number 5, an F1 sim. And this is probably the most stupidest ideas, but I think, as far as I understand, in London we do have that F1 cafe, F1 Arcadia, or whatever it's called. And I assume, or I am pretty sure that the game or the driving experience that you find in F1 Arcadia in that coffee in London is based on Easy technology. Remember Easy, or on the Easy G motor, or G motor 2, which is basically what rFactor 2 used to be a long time ago. Now, we've also heard that F1 and FOM are particularly unhappy with the progress of Codemasters. And now let's think about it. Codemasters has just released F1 25, right? We probably find numerous bugs on that game again. It is essentially the 16th update to F1 2010. All they are doing is different liveries. They break the physics every year. They bring a couple of features in, take a couple of features away, and trying to somehow get the same amount of 70, 80 euros of money of the community out again. It's like pure commercial. But F1 sim racing is a thing for F1, and also the F1 sim races, I'm pretty sure to a huge extent, they are pretty effed up about the way this game is handling, the way it's driving, the way it's working, the bugs it's having. So maybe we are in need of a high-class simulated F1 game. And I think there's no better company than Studio 397 and MSG to develop that. And now people will be like, yeah, but iRacing is so huge, it's so much longer on the market already. I tell you why iRacing is probably not the way the number one go-to simulation for that idea as well. First of all, development speed by MSG. Look what they've done with Le Mans Ultimate from early access to where it is now within literally 14 months of being live and probably 24 months of overall development. As a result, iRacing took 8 years to develop Rain. Yes, they have nailed the Rain, no question about that. Probably iRacing Rain is the best Rain available. But generally, iRacing seems to just change physics on every quarter release, just to get new setups done, to get the new setup, the setup shops, new business cases, let them redevelop some stuff. Always is something changing that changes the game in a way, a little bit more content, and off we go. That is like, I feel milked like a cow as a customer. Give me a little bit more content here, I'm gonna buy that content, and then, oh yeah, the GT3 that I've raced for 8 seasons now comes into season 9 with minor updates, so I have to buy the 9th time the same setup for the same track I'm racing that specific GT3 on, because whatever has changed and old setups simply don't work anymore. So I don't think a good F1 simulation is going into their business case. And yes, I might be very blunt about it. I'm looking forward for the shitstorm of the iRacing community. I'll take it. It's just my honest opinion. Yeah, but what if F1 sim racing, F1 Arcade be like, we may need something better than Codemasters here. And Codemasters has been in trouble and is probably not decided. 2026 is the moment where we're talking about new licenses that have to be given out to EA and Codemasters, or Codemasters which is within EA. I don't think Codemasters exists anymore. Sorry, it's just me. But yeah, I think that is my most conspiracy theory that I have about what's next for Le Mans Ultimate. And I'm really interested to hear your personal opinion, to put this also into context with a little bit of a bottom line, what I do think is the most possible theory that I think is going to be number one. I think, if anything, we're talking about licenses, and if we're talking about more tracks, more cars, more content for Le Mans Ultimate, then it has to be the addition of ELMS, maybe ALMS, maybe even IMSA, or whatever other track that might be interested, being like, we want to be part of your product. Whether that is a Nürburgring Nordschleife or maybe Silverstone. Remember, Silverstone has been a long part of Studio 397, one of the first licenses ever. I just think that they want to have a lot of money to keep that license upwards, which Studio 397 simply didn't have. Yeah, I think that is the most possible theory of mine, as in what's going to be announced, what is going to be the future. I think my heart would be with rFactor 3, though, as a new simulation in a horizon of 2 to 4 years. Because with the physics that we now have on Le Mans Ultimate, I kind of miss doing F1 Grand Prix racing in like FSR style. F1 Grand Prix, 2 to 3 pit stops, DRS, ERS, energy deploys, and all that sort of stuff. We now do have the technology all in Le Mans Ultimate in a way, and I think that would be my favorite pick. Not even Le Mans Virtual Series. That obviously would be a nice thing to come. But I'm kind of happy right now that it's not there yet. Different story. But that is my idea about that one. So yeah. Conspiracy theory out there. Once again, disclaimer. I have no information on it. I have not heard too many rumors about anything. It's just what I had in my mind looking into different aspects. What are you looking for? What is your aspect on it? And again, if you appreciate the discussion here, guys, have a thumbs up. Make sure to let me know down your thoughts in the comments area below. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell for more of these information. And then hopefully next week we talk about the actual announcement of future things for Le Mans Ultimate. Guys, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great time. See you and bye-bye.